Hello, 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 hello. How are you? How's your night going so far? We're still in, I guess, sort of early evening, right? How is your day going? My day was okay. It was pretty good. It's still blessed, right? Blessed. Because I'm here, I'm alive, and I'm well, God has provided. So, I am Elisa. Hi, how are you? I'm Elisa Sanders, and I'm your coach today for Seize the Day. And so, everybody, come on in, come on in. And I want to start off first by saying thank you for watching, thank you for listening, thank you for sharing, thank you for commenting. I just want to thank you for spending a little time with me. And I don't want to be before you guys too long. I just want to take a little time and talk because we have been talking about being consistent and productive. And this is part of my journey of being consistent as well. And so, in our other videos and everything, we've been talking about, I've been giving you a little bit about me, right? About my life and part of my testimony. And we've been talking about how uh, living versus existing, right? Okay, so we've been talking about that. And I've been giving you a little bit of how I got to that point where I was just existing, but I wasn't truly living. I was not living life to the fullest. I didn't understand what joy was because I was just kind of going through with emotions. And so I'm here to help you today. I'm here to help you today if you've ever felt that way. If you felt like you were just stuck and you couldn't see your way out, and if you felt like you were in a rut and you felt like you were just existing, but you weren't truly living, you weren't thriving. So we talked about things that went on in my past, the background. We talked about things that's good or bad that help to shape you. We talked about when things starting to change, when you realize that there was a problem. We talked about excuse me, we talked about masking everything with a smile. And we also talked about that particular year. I talked about the year of hell because there was so much that went on in that year and it felt like all hell had broken loose. So today we're going to talk about seeing in a new light. Okay. So put like everything together that has gone on in your life. Think about it. What things have shaped you? What type of things have shaped you? Do you think that you would be different if some of those things hadn't happened? Or do you think you'll be the exact same person as you are today? Um, so many things happen, right? I talked about that year that I went through, and so many bad things happened. I lost my mom, I lost my dad, I lost my uncle, I lost my job. What else? Oh, I was stressed out because I had, extra people in my house, and that was stressful, because extra people but not extra money. I had so many things going on in that particular year, and it was a lot to deal with. Thank God that he kept me and kept my mind. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that about God because he kept me strong and he kept me up, right? So after all those things had happened, and I'm going through life, but I wasn't really living. I just was existing. I just was looking at everything in my life, and I really wasn't, like how you make decisions, but you're making decisions because the decision has to be made, not because you really sat down and thought about, like, okay, I need to make this decision, seeking out counsel or whatever, from God, from other people who you think that are wise. I wasn't doing that. I just was like, oh, well, this needs to be done, so I'll do it. Oh, this needs to be done, so I'll do it. Oh, that needs to be done. This needs to be done. Blah, 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 blah. Right. So I'm doing all of these things, but I wasn't really just making the decisions. Like, I was taking jobs I really didn't want just because I knew that I had bills to pay. Now, I'm not saying sometimes you got to do what you got to do, but you don't want to make your whole life be that way. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to just keep making decisions like that. That's not wise, because you end up somewhere stuck in a place that you don't want to be in and being very unhappy. And that happened to me so many times, and I said, I will never do that again. I can't do that again. So, but you start to see things in a different light. Even some of the things that happen to you, okay? The good, the bad, and the ugly. You start to look at those situations a little differently, and you'll see that some things needed to happen to like jog you out of one headspace into another. And remember that God could take all of those things, and even if it's bad, and He could turn those things around and make it be for your good. You know, sometimes things come in to challenge you. Sometimes things come in to give you strength. We don't always know the reason all the time, you know, but those things help to shape you. But it was after going through all of those issues, I did start to see things in a different light. I did start to see, okay, well, maybe that can help me, or maybe that can push me to do better, or you know what I'm saying. It wasn't like every little thing that happened, I wasn't like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. How could this happen? How could this be? And so, but I want to say that, but that takes maturity, and that takes growing up, you know, mentally and spiritually. It really does take that, because first off, I didn't see it that way. You know, I just kind of, you know what? I didn't think much about it, honestly. I kind of just went through the motions. I was really existing. When I say I was not living, I wasn't. I wasn't living at all. So I just want to know, do you find yourself like that sometimes? In that headspace? Like you don't really think about things. You go through them, you deal with them, and that's that. It's almost going through life kind of numb, you know? And someone had said to me before, she said, Alisa, you know, don't be afraid. You know, you're just now feeling things. Like God is allowing you to feel things now because you have been numb for so long. And when I sat and thought about that, I was like, she was right. That was the truth. Because I know I used to go through life, and I wouldn't let people see how I really felt about things. I held everything in. I mean, whatever emotion, I held it in. Okay? I didn't want you to recognize how I was truly feeling, right? So I held everything in. But it was very stressful doing that because nobody knew how I really felt but me. And to this day, most of my family really probably don't even really know me. I'm sure they don't really know me because I don't always open myself up to people. I'm probably getting better at that now, opening up. But no, I was not one that was very open. I was very closed off. But I think it was a way to protect myself. And so I didn't feel a lot because I was trying to keep myself protected. You know, I felt like I needed to protect myself from people because I had been hurt before. But, you know, with me doing that, I'm not allowing God to really fully work on me because I was closed off from Him too. I was closed off from Him. I was closed off to other people. I was even closed off to myself because I wasn't letting myself feel anything. But I did start to see things in a different light. Now, mind you, my process was a process. It was not overnight that I started to just see things in a different way and see that maybe how certain things happen, it was for a reason. It was to, you know, help me in some type of way, you know, or, you know, I didn't see the message behind it. But it took me a while, probably because I was fighting the process, because I was focusing in on so much of what was going wrong in my life, and I was focusing in on how I felt about everything because nobody truly knew how I felt but God. You know, I didn't talk about it to other people. But I was focusing in on that so much that I wasn't really focusing in on Him. And He was the one who's supposed to be, you know, the head of my life and supposed to be my father and supposed to be, excuse me, the author and finisher of my faith. I wasn't spending enough time with Him. I wasn't praying like I was supposed to. I wasn't, reading and studying the word like I was supposed to. I wasn't fasting how I was supposed to. So I was very weak. I was very weak. Like I had been in church since I was a girl, probably about 13. I think I was turning 14 the next month because I got saved at 13. And I knew about, to live saved, but I didn't know how to maintain, my deliverance. I didn't know how to maintain it. So I had many ups and downs. I've had many times that how I went back into the world and, I had backslid and, I did that a few times and I felt horrible, every time that I did go back in the world and it was really, really bad. I hated it, and I was beginning to hate myself because I knew the things that I was doing was not right and I knew they were not of God. And some of those things I learned a big lesson. I learned a lesson about myself. I learned lessons about life. I probably could have gone through it a better way without having to go through it like that. Hi, how are you? Like I wish sometimes it's like, man, I could have done that in the easier way, but I went through it and I made it through. Okay. So, that whole time God was holding me up. But sometimes look at some of the situations in your life. See, is this happening because of something that I did? Or is this something that somebody did to me? Or is this, an attack, a spiritual attack? But you have to look at it from all angles. You have to see what's really going on with you. Because a lot of times the issues that we have in our life, is our own fault. Things that we did. We caused this to happen by sometimes making poor decisions, and it happens. And you should learn a lesson from that so you won't do that again, So, hi, thanks for watching. But, so I had to think about that, so I had to see things in a different way. And I was doing a lot of complaining. I did a lot of complaining. And it didn't help me to live because I was just going through the motions of life, but I was complaining about the things that was happening to me. And I would go to God all the time and I would complain. I would complain about my family because so many times they were getting on my nerve. I'm telling you, they did. I love them. I love them. But a lot of times they was getting on my nerve. And I didn't know what to do with them. And I would argue with them sometimes. And I remember my brother telling me one time, he was like, Elisa, you're going to have to change how you talk to them. Because in that moment, you're not showing who God is. At first, I was angry with him. Like, don't tell me nothing. They the one who got the problem. They did have a problem, but I wasn't, I didn't know how to handle it. So I was not handling it in a good way. But I just want you to take a look at life and see, were there times where you probably could have looked at things a little bit differently and you start to see, well, you know what? Maybe this is happening because of that. Or, maybe I need to do something different because what I've been doing is not working. Because honestly, when you've been doing something over and over again and it is not working and you have not moved to a different spot and you have not progressed, then you probably need to change what you're doing. And it's okay. Change is good. Change doesn't always feel good, but change is good sometimes, so we have to embrace that. And so, like, I was just going through motions of life, like, it didn't matter what was happening. I held it in, I was strong because God made me strong. He held me up and it was his strength, but I wasn't always looking at things in the right way. I was trying to find the way out. And mostly I was trying to find the way out on my own terms, not really seeking God out to see like what he wanted me to do or how he wanted me to be. And, it was hard. That process was hard. So as I say that I'm coaching you, if you felt that way, if you, experienced some of these things, I want to help you through it. I want to give you some tips, some tools that can help you through that so you can move past it. So you won't keep going around the same mulberry bush over and over and over and over again. I don't want you to do that. I did it and it was not fun. Okay? I'm just going to tell you right now. It was not fun. It was not fun. So we have to find different ways. And I'm going to tell you, like I said, I'm going to tell you every time, you're going to get a lot of God talking to me. Okay? You're going to get God all the time because He helped me. He saved me. He delivered me. He took me through. Okay? It was Him. It was not me. It was not anything that I did by myself. Because if I could have changed things a long time ago by myself, I would have. I would have changed so many things in my life. But I couldn't do that. So it had to take God to do that. So He's going to help me even to help you. So I hope you can embrace that and understand that you don't have to just exist. You don't have to just go through the motions. You don't have to hide who you are. You don't have to hide your feelings. You don't have to just keep going through like that. You don't have to. Change is able to happen. It's available to you. It's there. Help is there for you. I want you to understand that. And I want you to live and I want you to thrive. I don't want you to just be stuck in one place where I'm stuck doing this because this is what I'm used to doing. You don't have to be used to doing things. You can move forward. You can do something different. You can do what's really in your heart. I want you to find your voice. I want you to see who you truly are. I want you to understand that you were created with purpose. I want you to know that you going to work every day and not enjoying it, but you're doing it because I got to pay the bills. But in your heart, you really want to do something else. You can do something else. You don't have to just stick to that. You're not in a box. You don't have to be in a box. God did not create you and put you in a box. That's not what He did. That is not what He did. So you don't have to be stuck in this one headspace, in this one place. You don't have to do that. There's so much more out there in the world for you. And I just want you to know that. And I'm here to help you. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming in. I'm here to help you. I don't want you to be like that. I don't want you to feel what I felt. Honestly, I'm telling you. You don't want to live in that place. Well, not even live. You don't want to exist in that place. Because that's not truly living. Going through life not having joy. Not having purpose. Not knowing who you are. Being confused. Not being confident. All of those things you do not have to do. There is a way out of that. I promise you it is. And this has been a journey. It was not overnight. Because, sometimes God has to work things out of you. Okay? Some things, it didn't take you 1 minute to get into it. You probably did something over and over again. Or different things that took you to that place over and over again. So it might take a little time for it to be worked out of you. Because you have to think differently. And you have to learn differently. And know that there's a different way and a better way. So I just want you to know that I'm here for you, that I love you, and I'm here to coach you up out of that. I'm here to help you up out of that. I want you to seize the day. Seize your moment. Take the opportunity. I want you to live and thrive. I don't want you to just exist and go through the motions, okay? You're better than that. There's better things out there for you. There's more life out there, okay? So guys, like I said, I didn't want to take up too much of your time. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please like, please share, please comment, guys. Please comment because I want to hear what you have to say. I want feedback. Let me know how you're thinking, how you're feeling, okay? So we can have these conversations. It's time to talk about things. It's time to go through these things and come out on the other side better than what we were at first, okay? So I just want to say, have a good night. I love you. God bless. And let's seize the day. Bye, guys.